It's 2035. You are a part of a team solving a complex global crisis. The solution requires people from different disciplines to act like an orchestra in perfect symphony. There's a climate expert, there's a lawyer, there's a policymaker, an engineer, an artist. The room is full of intelligent brain and IQ. Everybody is talking, but nobody is listening. Let's pause that scene from the future and come back to today. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Megha Agrawal. I am an innovator, an educator, and a facilitator. For years, I have developed a lot of my intellect by studying for my engineering, doing an innovation training, doing my PhD, postdoctoral work. But you know what I've realized? It's only 25% of my being. Over the years, as I apply that theory into practice, into my global experience and leadership roles of 20 years of experience in the healthcare industry, I find myself as a facilitator, acting as a bridge between doctors and engineers, connecting the dots between policymakers and researchers, and trying to make things happen. I've realized that brain is only one part, which probably is not so heavy as much as emotions, your feelings, your intuition. I would in fact argue your emotion, intelligence of your emotion weighs much higher than your emotional intelligence of your brain. Engaging leadership in all forms is an example of that. This led me to discover the Three Bridges framework. What I have just now named it as Three Bridges framework is an experiment, is an invitation to break those silos. We will come back to this framework, but let me introduce you to the three bridges. The first bridge is the bridge to self, looking inward. The second bridge is the bridge with others, looking outward. And the third bridge is the bridge to the purpose, with a North Star vision. Let me come to all three stories with examples from my journey. So the first story is about developing self-awareness. I was developing a medical device to close the hole in the heart of a newborn patient. As I was testing this device, I had to make this water tank experiment. The physics was simple. As the device expands, the level of water rises. Except it did not. I did all the calculations, I rechecked everything, nothing was working. I was really frustrated. I didn't know what to do. One quiet evening, as I was having the moment of self-care, and actually I was painting my nails, I observed the nail paint remover bottle. And it struck me then, oh, the threads! The water is being stuck in these threads over there. What if I remove this thread with a snap fit? I did, and voila, the experiment started working perfectly. I published papers, we published the patent, the breakthrough was achieved. But you know what my real learning was? It's not the analysis that led to that discovery. It was the awareness. It was the moment where I felt my feelings. In fact, that is what I bring to my classroom. When I teach graduate and undergraduate students, I teach a very highly calculations-heavy analytical subject. But I don't ask them what their score in their last exam was. Instead, I ask them, what is your feeling towards this subject? How would you rate it between a 0 for hate and 10 for love? In fact, I say this same thing to my children as well, who are still quite young and still learning. I tell them, if you can feel it, you can learn it. And over the years that I have been teaching, I'm happy to see almost every student's score for the feeling has improved over the course of the semester. The second story, with a bridge to others. In my innovation training, I was a part of a team of diverse expertise. an engineer, a doctor, a product engineer, a scientist, an artist. All of us were working towards one unmet clinical need that we found: finding an easier way to access the veins. We saw the doctors and nurses pricking even simple small children multiple times to find the vein. With all the expertise in the room, it should be easy to find a solution. But we found ourselves stuck. At that time, I took a step back and I said, what can I learn from my experience from stand-up comedy and role plays? How about all of us empathize and think how the other person must be feeling? How does a plumber find a pipe in the wall? How does an 8-year-old feel when he was pricked for the 4th time? How does the nurse feel when she's doing it? Bringing our empathetic muscles to function very well, cohesively, all of us started building ideas on top of each other, and our brainstorming led to a product which is now patented. I realized through this experience that we were not only solving a problem, we were feeling the problem. Suddenly, Team I became Team V. That leads me to the third story of developing a shared vision of bridging with purpose. I come from a rural state in India. My sense of belonging has led me to start this new role as a co-convener of healthcare discussions for developing innovation for rural India. We bring different stakeholders from the ministry, from engineering institutes, from medical doctors to even innovators in the space come and work together. But before we arrived, we saw everybody was working in silos. Everybody was there, but still not talking to each other. The work has just started, the seeds have been sown. We will see how this long-term vision leads to a common cause, a common purpose, and a North Star where everybody's passion and vision is aligned. So what can we learn today that we can apply from tonight? I leave you with 3 bridges. The first bridge, the bridge to self. When you're stuck in a moment of despair, take a pause, reflect, and ask, what am I feeling? What am I not seeing? What am I missing? Or in fact, what am I seeing? The second bridge, bridge to others. Develop a shared common language that each one in the room can understand. Develop that empathy that you can easily experience and understand others' perceptions and worldview. And the third, bridge to the vision, to the purpose, where all of our combined wisdom works towards one common goal. Now, that room in 2035, where everybody was talking and nobody was listening, what if we imagine a different future where all of us have worked towards building the bridges amongst us, with others, and with that common cause? That problem, global crisis, is not really a science fiction. It is, in fact, tomorrow's reality. It is something that we all can work by working on ourselves. Because emotional intelligence not only just breaks silos, but it brings hearts to connect, minds to collaborate, and breakthroughs to happen. Thank you very much for your attention.